Hello and welcome to my garage studio and the getting colder Wisconsin mornings. We're going to start in a seated position, and I often have my block underneath me simply to open up my hips, especially in the morning when we're not quite warmed up yet. So having a block or a book or something that elevates your hips a little bit might be a helpful thing. So use it if you wish. We are just going to work on our breathing for a few moments and try to expand our breath and start getting in the mindset of using your breath while you move. So simply have a relatively straight back. That's really all that matters in this. You don't need to be in a lotus pose and be all contorted. It really doesn't matter. Close your eyes if you wish and simply pay attention to your breathing and pay attention to bringing the air in through your nose and then out through your nose. Keep your lips together, relaxed. If you need to do something with your tongue, put it against the top of your back the back of your top teeth. And then try when you inhale to expand your rib cage a little bit. And if you need to put your hands on your rib cage, try to feel them expand almost out. And then try to bring your breath into your belly. And sometimes, again, it helps to have a hand on your belly and your thumb on your belly button. And just breathe into your belly as best you can. And let's bring your arms up overhead on an inhale. And on an exhale, just tilt over to one side. And then up. Exhale and tilt to the other side. Inhale up. To the side. And again, you're not trying to force anything. You're just trying to just gently open up your rib cage. Inhale up. We'll do one more on each side. Bring your arms back down. And we'll bring our chins to our chest and just kind of roll down a little bit and do some seated cows and cats. This will be an exhale. And then we'll inhale, bring your head up, stick your chest out as far as it'll go. Expand your belly and then exhale, roll down. Inhale and roll up. So often when we do these on all fours in tabletop, we're starting with our hip movement. And here we're kind of starting with our head movement. Inhale and come on up. Exhale, roll down. So I'll come to the side just for a second here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now let's just roll forward and come into a child's pose just for a second. But before you get into a child's pose, Bring your knees out to the side and your big toes together. And the first thing I'd like you to try is just to sink your hips back towards your heels. And once you get in that position, so it's a little more active than a typical child's pose rest. Just start extending your hands as you can. And exhale yourself down. So when you're exhaling here, when you inhale, you can bring your torso up a little bit, bring your hips up. But when you exhale, you're almost trying to straighten your back as if you were trying to lengthen your back and lengthen your arms so that you feel it in your shoulders. So you're coming up just barely and then sinking in a little farther on the exhale. Good. So leave your hands where they are, extend your feet, we'll come into a downward dog. Like that, right? And in downward dog, our goal here is to inhale and try to lengthen from our hips to our hands and from our hips to our heels to have a relatively straight line. So when you come up on the inhale, come up on your tiptoes and just sink your feet back. And then come up on your tiptoes on the inhale and sink your right heel to the ground. And then inhale and come up. Exhale, put your left foot to the ground. Up, socks. But it's too cold in here, so there we go. All right, so then in downward dog, inhale, look to the top of the mat, walk your feet forward on your exhale, and come into a forward fold. Hold this just for a moment. And then exhale and let your torso just relax. Now inhale into a half lift. So your torso is parallel to the floor. Exhale down to a forward fold. And we'll inhale and we'll start coming all the way up. Arms out to the side, arms all the way up, reach to the ceiling. And then exhale, your hands down to heart center. And then bring your hands to your side. All right. Good. We're doing well this morning. I'm going to get a little more tea. So what we're going to do next is work on some more hip and core stabilization kind of things. Last week we did some work with warrior ones. This week we're going to do some work with crescent lunges. So we'll go back into a sun salutation, and then we will get into some of the crescent lunge work. All right, so arms back up, inhale, overhead, down to a forward fold, inhale to a half lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat and walk your feet back into a downward dog. So we'll skip a bunch of the other steps in there. Quick breath in here. Good. Then take an inhale through your nose into your belly. Lift up your right foot and bring it forward. And I'm going to turn completely around here. And you're in this lunge. This is where you want to be. So your both feet are facing forward, and we're going to push up into our crescent lunge. And I'm going to be moving around here so you can see where we're going. So both feet are forward. Both feet, your feet are about shoulder width apart. So there's a bit of a balance here, okay? And now, you can have your hands on your hips to start with. So, because we'll be here for a little bit, and that's the reason we're starting like this. Think about your back heel pushing down toward the mat. Your right knee is over your right ankle-ish, right around that area. So you're feeling this in the front of your left thigh, and in the psoas muscle, and all the way in through the inner thigh muscles, inner hip muscles. Once you feel like you're steady, then you can start to bring up your hands, because the goal is to start creating a back bend. Right, so, and I don't get anywhere close to what this is supposed to look like, but that's kind of the point of why we're all here. And so, gradually, I'm going to start by looking at the bikes. I'm going to start gradually looking up at the ceiling. All right, so that's the position we want to start in. So, get as however you can. I'm going to come forward again. So the inhale is maybe straightening your front leg. And then the exhale is maybe rolling your back and looking up. So there's a constant, you don't want to do a lot of movement because then you lose your balance. But you want to just do very imperceptible movements, not imperceptible, but minimal. Focus on your breath, not on anything you're feeling, just focus on what your nose senses the air coming in. Good. Now we're going to rotate our foot and our hips all at the same time here. We're going to come into a warrior two. So we're going to inhale, drop your back foot, rotate into a warrior two. Okay, but we're just going to be here for a second. This is a transition. And in warrior two, we'll inhale, front leg straight, reach forward with your right hand, and we'll come into a triangle, right? So this is going to be the other challenging pose that we do. Because the idea here in triangle is that our torso stays flat. And we stack our left shoulder on top of our right. So you can have a hand on your shin, on your ankle. Some people like to have a block here. The idea is to have your hands so your palms are facing forward. And so that this inhale, exhale is fairly simple. The inhale is simply letting your shoulder come down a little bit. And the exhale is opening up your shoulder, so that your left shoulder is stacking. You don't need to necessarily move your head. Sometimes it's easier to look at your left hand, but that also puts a little bit of stress on your neck. So be judicious with that movement. So in this session, In these classes, we will never do a lot of poses. We just do a few of these poses and hold them for longer to really think about the strength that we're building and the stability that we're building while we practice our breathing. That's kind of the key. All right, we'll slowly roll up. Now, just to make life easy, so we're running a little short on time, we're going to rotate your feet. My little Michael Jackson move. Wasn't much of a Michael Jackson move. So now my left foot is forward and my right foot is back. Again, I'm going to push back with my right heel now. And I'm going to be feeling this in my front of my right thigh. And once I get my sense of stability, get my arms up. So now, again, the goal is to move with the breath. And then exhale. Maybe come down a little bit farther, maybe back bend more. If you feel any niggles, any weird sensations that don't feel quite right, then back off a little bit. Don't work through things. Just, you want to work through, there's a difference between a discomfort and just like getting a little fatigued and something that feels like it's almost painful. Almost pain you do not want. Working through the discomfort or the challenge, that's okay. That's what the breath work is for. Good. Let's do 2 more breaths. All right. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. So drop your back ankle. Come in, rotate your hips, and we'll come into the warrior 2. Then we'll inhale, your front leg goes straight. Reach forward with your left hand. And now we roll on down to the triangle. I hope you are all doing okay with this. Good. All right, so remember that the beauty of yoga is, I worked with a class yesterday and this woman said, I haven't done yoga for a long time. I go, great, welcome back. And she says, I'm not sure I'm doing it right. I go, well, none of us are really. And it's all, there's not a right or a wrong. It's whatever your body can manage on in a particular moment. And that sounds like one of those Hallmark card things, but it's really true with yoga. Your body is different every day. And your body can manage different things every day. And not only is it a chance for you to practice your breathing and the movement, but there's also that sense of acceptance that you do what you can. Some days I'm amazed that my body can move. All right, one more breath. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat and push yourself back into downward dog. Good. That was really well done. There's a lot of work that you just did in your hips, and your core, all throughout your whole hip girdle. I gotta come up with a better word. I know that's the pelvic girdle, that's the phrase that sounds so weird. Just keep moving with your breath. I often just come up on my tiptoes on the inhale, and on the exhale, just come out and back down. All right, then just drop your knees, gently come to a seated position. Get some tea. So what we'll do to finish things off, so we don't do traditional Shavasana or corpse pose simply because of the time. I want to keep this in 30 minutes. So let's have your leg straight. If it is a little uncomfortable on the back of your hamstrings or in the back of your knees, sometimes it's nice to have a block underneath your knee. So what we'll do is we'll take our other leg and we'll cross it over the top. And the first thing we'll do is take, so my right knee is up, my right elbow is coming around my knee if I can, otherwise I'm gonna have my hands on my knee. And I'm just working on bringing my knee towards my left knee first thing. So inhale, relax, and exhale. Just try to keep moving. You'll feel this down in your right hip. And you're just trying to pull it back a little bit. Good. All right, now take your left elbow and rotate yourself. Bring your right hand and your left elbow, if you can, see if it fits inside of your knee. Otherwise, you can have your hand on your knee. What we're trying to do here is just create a little bit of a spinal twist. And we go to 11 every day. All right, so because it's better than 10. And we'll rotate our all right, let's switch legs. Now your right leg is extended. Bring it. So we're just taking our right knee, our left knee into our right shoulder. If you have a dog, you can always say hello. This is my dog, Joy, the Wonder Dog. Ooh, I just said Wonder Dog. That was a reference to my old dog, Kobe, the Wonder Dog. Joy isn't quite a Wonder Dog. She's kind of a, I don't know what, she's a lot different, a lot spazzier. All right, now we're gonna do the rotation. So we're gonna take our right hand and our left hand behind us and our right back over. You want to that's quarter. Yeah, like that. There you go. Look at you. Yeah. Are you a little nervous, Nelly, this morning? So we're just trying to inhale when our shoulders are coming back, and exhale and rotate, look behind you. So you're just feeling a gentle kind of twist in your spine. Yeah. Are you feeling a gentle twist? Enjoy the downward dog. Good. Rotate. Good. One more time. And exhale. Here. There you go. All right. Then let's come into our seated position and we'll finish up. Your breath back into your belly. Bring your arms up overhead. Collect your good energy. Bring it down back and bring it inside of you on the exhale. Bring your arms up. Exhale. And then one more time. Inhale, arms up. And exhale. All right. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate your presence. And my little dog does too. Namaste, doggy. Namaste home. All right. Talk to you guys later. See ya. All right. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.